There are three areas of technology that are in extreme demand right now, and they are artificial intelligence, automation, and robotics. That's why I'm focusing today's video on the top 9 robotic stock to keep on your radar for huge growth. To get us started, let's discuss the outlook for industrial robots. To begin with, most of us think of China as having a large population with relatively cheap labor, and that's why they make so many of the products that we buy today. But are you aware that China installed more robots in 2021 than all other countries combined? And it was an increase of 51% from the number of robots they installed in 2020. In comparison, China installed 268,000 robots in 2021 to the US's 35,000 robots. Granted, the US isn't known for being a hotbed for manufacturing, but with recent changes, the US is determined to bring more of the manufacturing back domestically. In order to do that, we would need to invest heavily into robotics and automation for several years. Now, I haven't seen a report on the expected annual growth of robots in the US, but for China, it's expected to be a 46% annual growth each year for the next 4 to 5 years. I'll move this along and get started with the first company of Rockwell Automation that offers a full suite of robotics products including robotic arms, controllers, software, and vision systems. They also have a deep understanding of how to integrate robotics with other automation technologies, such as machine vision, motion control, and data analytics. And one of the most impressive parts about the company is that it's over 120 years old. It was founded in 1903 as the Compression Rheostat Company, and during the 1990s, they began to focus on manufacturing software and technology. Rockwell Automation has a strong presence in a wide range of industries, including automotive, aerospace, food and beverage, and healthcare. As of today, their stock is trading at $336.51, and it's up 30.9% year to date, and it's up over 100% over 5 years. Analysts on the NASDAQ site list the average price at $313 and a high of $383 for a forecast. I'm not so sure that this is the right moment to buy, but I do see this as a great stock to keep on my watch list. The next company is ISRG, or Intuitive Surgical, and it's a medical technology company that develops, manufactures, and markets robotic surgical systems. Their most well-known product is the 𝐓𝐸 surgical system, which is used in a wide range of minimally invasive surgeries, including prostate cancer surgery, gynecological surgery, and cardiac surgery. The 𝐓𝐸 surgical system was the first robotic system to be approved by the FDA, and it has been used in over 10 million procedures worldwide. The benefits of this system is that they've made it possible to perform complex surgeries with less pain, less blood loss, and shorter recovery times. As far as companies go, they're relatively young at 29 years old, but for the robotic sector within healthcare, they are one of the oldest, if not the oldest. Today, their stock is trading at $375.85, and it's up 26.9% year to date, and just over 111% over 5 years. Analysts don't give it much room to grow for the rest of this year, and I'm thankful I bought it 8 years ago. To me, this is a company with the first robotic surgical system approved by the FDA, where we have an aging population, lower birth rates, and a shrinking workforce. There's no doubt about it that robots are going to become more prevalent over time, and the demand in healthcare, well, it's only going to continue to grow. I want to take a moment and thank today's sponsor, Max Power Mining, where they seek to educate people like us on who they are and why they are a key stakeholder in providing us a domestic source of lithium. And the reason that's important is because most everything that you use that has a battery, like our phones and especially now electric cars, they all rely on lithium. And it is estimated that today's demand of 500,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent will grow to 4 million tons by 2030, which is more than a 300% increase in less than 10 years. Sadly, there's only one lithium mine in the US that provides only 3.6% of the world's lithium. And with the demand skyrocketing, so has the price, where it's gone from $6,000 a ton to over $78,000 a ton in less than 2 years. Currently, Max Power is a leading landowner in Quebec, in a region called Nunavik, where there is a high potential for lithium mining. So much so that the company Cobalt Metals, which is backed by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, is also excited about that region. Demand for lithium is only going to grow more over time, and we need more domestic options so we can be self-sufficient. If you'd like to learn more about Max Power, I'll have a link in the description below. The next company is going to sound like it is completely out of left field, or rather a cornfield. And that would be the Deere & Company, or what most of us refer to as John Deere. And most of us do know them as manufacturing agricultural and forestry equipment, but they are also a leader in agricultural robotics, where they're investing heavily into R&D for autonomous tractors, robotic harvesters, and robotic weeders. By automating tasks that are currently performed by humans, John Deere's robots are freeing up farmers to focus on other tasks, such as managing their business. Additionally, John Deere robots are using less energy and water than traditional agricultural practices, which is helping to reduce the environmental impact of agriculture. It's no surprise that John Deere is a relatively old company, which was founded in 1837. However, they've only recently begun to invest heavily into robotics. In 2017, they acquired Bear Flag Robotics, which is a startup that develops autonomous driving technology for agricultural equipment. This acquisition has helped John Deere to accelerate the development of their robotic technology. And today, their stock is trading at $445.68, with a year-to-date of only 1.9%, but their 5-year is over 212%. Look, everyone needs to eat, and farming is only going to become more important over time as population grows worldwide. This is a stock that I refer to as an evergreen because it's always going to have a place in my portfolio because it will have forever long-term potential. The next company is one a viewer asked me to speak to because they had seen them in action with positive results in their home of Hawaii, and that would be Knightscope, which is a company that develops and deploys autonomous security robots. Their robots are called K5s, and they're designed to patrol and monitor public spaces for security threats. K5s are equipped with a variety of sensors, including cameras, radar, and thermal imaging, which allow them to detect and track people and objects. They are also equipped with a speaker system, which allows them to communicate with people and issue warnings. These robots have a range of about 10 miles per charge, and studies have shown a deterrence of crime upwards of 50% where a K5 is on duty. As of today, the stock is trading at $1.57, and this is truly a penny stock within the group, where they are down 36% year to date. But on the day I was recording this, they had already jumped up 30%. Those are the wild swings that you're going to get with penny stocks. High risk with high rewards. The company is only a year old, and I see a lot of potential, but keep in mind that penny stocks like this do come with much more added risk. The analysts on NASDAQ are giving Knightscope a lot of love with their forecast over 100% of where it's trading today. The next company is iRobot, and that may not come as a surprise to many of you since it literally has robot in its name, but the reason that I'm including it in my list may surprise you. And if you aren't familiar, iRobot designs and builds robots for the home and commercial use. They are best known for their Roomba vacuuming robots, but they also make a variety of other robots including the Brava mopping robot, the Scuba floor washing robot, and the Ava 360 security robot. They are a well-known name with over 30 million robots sold worldwide. Today their stock is trading at $39.87 with a year-to-date of a negative 1.48% and a 5-year of negative 37%. Now you may be wondering why on earth would I be including them in the stock? And that's simple. Amazon put in a bid in 2022 to buy iRobot at $61 a share, but they recently updated that on July 25th to make it a price tag of $51.75. They have the approval in the US and they just received approval in Europe. If it happens tomorrow, if you bought that stock at $39 a share and then it's sold to Amazon at $51, you make an immediate 30% return. Granted, that all hinges on Amazon buying them out, but everything does seem to be pointing in that direction. Before moving on, I have a favor to ask of you. If you like my content, I'd greatly appreciate if you consider pressing the like button so my content here on YouTube can grow. And better yet, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing so you can be up to date with all of my latest content. And of course, I can't mention Amazon without adding them to my list. And they happen to be a leader in the robotic space with Amazon Robotics, which is a company that designs, develops, and deploys robots for Amazon's warehouses. They don't sell them to any other customers, just for Amazon. They are best known for their Kiva robots, which are used to pick and stow inventory in Amazon's fulfillment centers. And since I used to work for Amazon, I have seen these robots at work and they are extremely impressive. I do know that they have over 100,000 Kiva robots in the fleet, and they are certain to keep growing with Amazon's push for automation. We all benefit from Amazon's robots because they're able to get packages to us as quickly as they do because of the robots like Kiva. Amazon stock is trading at $128.86 with a year-to-date of 51.1%, and they're up only 58.9% over 5 years. Amazon is one of those companies that's going to grow for a lot of different reasons, and they've been relatively flat for the past few years. And in my opinion, they are due to bust out soon. The next company is Tesla, where I probably don't need to share why they're going to be a powerhouse in robotics. But for those of you that need a refresher, their vehicles practically fall into the realm of robotics due to their near full capability of self-driving. In addition, they're a leading reason for the US having as many industrial robots as we have, since Tesla has invested heavily into automating their production lines. And the cream on the top is their latest announcement of the human-like robot called Optimus. The beauty of the robot is that it uses the same autopilot software developed for their cars. The stock today is at $268.56, and it's up 111% year to date, and up over 1,037% over 5 years. The downside to Tesla is that Optimus isn't going to be available for another 3 to 5 years, which means that it may be more ideal to invest in Tesla now versus later. But given what the analysts have for a projection, it's clear that nobody knows where the stock will land at the end of this year. My next company is 𝐓𝐨 Technology that provides products and services for the automatic identification and data capture industry. They happen to be a leader in the field of mobile computers, autonomous mobile robots, collaborative robots, and vision-guided robots. They only recently became proficient with autonomous mobile robots when they purchased a company called Fetch Robotics in 2019. That purchase completely rounded out their portfolio to make them a strong contender in the robotics that are used in manufacturing and warehouse management. Today, 𝐓𝐨 Tech trades at $303.42, and it's up over 19% year to date, and they're up 113.9% over the last 5 years. The analysts have this company as a strong buy with plenty of upside given their recent forecasts. The next company to cover is ABB Limited, and it's a Swiss multinational conglomerate that specializes in robotics, power, automation, and electrification. They happen to be a leader in the field of robotics, and they have a long history of innovation. In fact, their robotics division focuses primarily on manufacturing, logistics, healthcare, and energy, which touches on most every robotics stock that I've already covered. But an area that I find more interesting is the area of construction, where they're a leader in robotics, 3D printing, and prefab construction. I see this as an area that's going to turn the construction sector completely upside down, and I find this very intriguing. And at the beginning, I did mention how China is expected to grow 46% annually for several years with their robotic expansion. Well, ABB is a key supplier to China and the rest of the world, and they may not be well known to most of us, but they touch on so many different sectors within robotics that they stand to gain in many ways over the next several years. Today, they trade at $40.30, and they're up 31.88% year to date, and they're up 92% over 5 years. When we talk about robots, they're merely shells without the software and the processors to allow them to function properly in any environment. And that's where artificial intelligence comes into play. And that's another area that's poised for explosive growth over the next several years. And I made a couple of different videos speaking just on AI that you may enjoy learning about. So feel free to check those out at any time.